Welcome to the Launch to Six podcast, a podcast about how you can launch your online business from 0 to 6 figures in 24 months or less, regardless of your prior experience. Now, here's your hosts.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Launch to Six podcast. You're here with me, Tomash. I'm here with my colleagues and good friends, Casper and
Hey guys.
Tom. Hey, how you doing? You all right? This episode, guys, we're going to be talking about marketing in general. More importantly, all of the infrastructure elements you will need to create your funnel. Now, a lot of you guys talk, you probably hear people talking about funnels, and why is it different to a website? You'll get a lot of people who build websites and go, "This is your marketing machine." There's a few more steps to it. And the principle of a marketing funnel being that you drop in your leads at the top and you get prospects converting into paying clients down below. This is why we'll talk about your marketing machine, where you drop in £1 at the top and you make £2-3 out. That is what your marketing funnel is. And I just want to basically go through with the guys the key elements to this. And there's a few general elements. And then this gets then a little more sort of detailed depending on the industry you're in and your specific goals. So we're going to be really focusing on those infrastructure elements. And I mean, one of those key elements, and the element that most people really understand, is like your brand site. And so this is something that me and Casper will build out quite a lot. And,
yes, that's right.
And generally we'll be working with a scratch built site. And I mean, Casper, there's a lot of tools we use, but why do we tend to do scratch built sites for brand sites specifically?
Well, speed of loading is one reason. Usually a lot of kind of pre-built website solutions will come with a lot of stuff that isn't really necessary for the use case that the client wants. And if we build from scratch, we can essentially just only include what's needed, get it really lean, loading fast, make it really responsive. We have absolute full control over how the website behaves, what goes on in the back end, what goes on in the front end. It's just, you have control of the entire process, and that's really necessary if you want to have a fast, responsive app.
And the big thing with that specific element of it being scratch built is the SEO. I mean, Casper, with the SEO, it's hugely important for the site to be fast, because essentially your brand site, the reason for having a brand site versus your other sales pages is effectively, if anybody sees anything from you online, they're going to probably go and Google you. So you want your brand site to appear up on top, and straight away that first page they click into needs to be fast, it needs to be snappy, it needs to be built, it needs to be really nicely designed.
Yes, that's right. But Google also ranks your site based on how quick it is to load, meaning it has to be quick to load to make it into the top search results. And really, it's a requirement. Yeah.
Now there might be a couple of tricks we might do with regards to essentially further back pages. So we might use like a platform like WordPress to build out things like blog structures because of the CMS, the content management system. But ultimately that site, that first page needs to perform well, and it needs to be structured correctly for your SEO. So that's that first element, and that's a big overarching element.
Can I chime in on that, actually?
Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah.
From the people listening to that, they think, load speed doesn't matter, but has anyone ever had an experience where they've clicked on something, it takes so long to load, and they're on their phone, they click away? People's attention
all the time, and it's just a matter of seconds. If something's 2 or 3 seconds to load, I've already lost interest, and I'm looking for the next thing that's quicker to load. I mean, our attention spans are so short these days. I mean, technology has gotten so good, so fast, that we just expect it to be performant. We expect it to load fast.
And something that Tom just mentioned really, really importantly, that depending on your industry, up to 80+% of your user base may actually use through a phone. And with a lot of pre-made kind of template sites, they don't adapt particularly well to phone infrastructure. So having that ability to have your site on a phone is really, really important.
Absolutely.
So there's a few elements there just to mention. Now, obviously we were trying to keep this fairly compressed. So one, your brand site, and that's your overarching thing. So you're not necessarily driving direct response paid traffic through that site, and there's a good reason for that. So the next elements of this are going to be around your specific sales pages, your lead pages, your funnel pages. And essentially, this is your lander where you're going to drive your adverts wherever they're coming from. So we had our last episode on Facebook ads. Do check that out. And this is where you're going to drive that traffic to. And they're specifically designed pages, generally using a tool like ClickFunnels or lead pages, whatever you find most. The reason we're using a preformed template is because of speed. We can build stuff really quickly on them. We can test and we can change copy, and we can get data very quickly, make changes very quickly. Equally, starting with ClickFunnels, you can split test. So that's very, very important to be able to test those elements. Tom, I don't know if you want to say something about specifically with lead pages and sales pages and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I think, exactly what you said. ClickFunnels is good. You can get it up, you can split test, you can change, you can drop around images, change headline, change the buttons, connect it. Really, it's very beginner friendly, and it's good for the paid traffic. The only thing is, when you're at scale, if you're getting thousands of visitors a day, or even 1,000 visits a day, you want to really get that. Use ClickFunnels to create templates and then put it onto like a HTML. The only reason is speed. That's the only reason at scale, though. Most people listening to this won't have that. But what you said about brand sites, absolutely everything. People see your ad, then 40% of them Google you. And if you've got a beautiful brand, it's quick, the message is strong, you're just ahead of everyone else, basically.
Yeah. So guys, we covered off two really key elements of your infrastructure. So you've got your brand site, you've then got your sales and lead pages. The next element is what then follows on from those. So I'm not covering ads in this podcast. So this is your infrastructure. So I'm not covering ads or anything to do with any of that stuff. This is where your leads arrive and travel. This is your infrastructure. So no other platforms. So your lead pages, they might go on to, say, a video, they might go on to a survey, they might go on to whatever you're trying to do. It might be a webinar, whatever it is, or it might be, say, a calendar. You want to book them into a call. So it's whatever that infrastructure, that travel is, and whatever tools. So maybe you're doing forms, check out Jotforms. Maybe you're doing calendar books, check out Calendly. You want to get them on a call, Zoom. We're recording this right now on Zoom, so it's a fantastic tool. Your next element is, obviously, you've caught your leads, and you want them to go somewhere. You want to follow up with them. So the key element then is your email list, and this is one of the most powerful tools, because any kind of social media followings, we're talking about Instagram, off call, followers. You might have a lot of people on your LinkedIn. These are fantastic. These are really good, and you should have these, but they're owned by the platform. That platform goes, you lose those contacts, you lose them. Whereas the ultimate goal is to have that database in-house. You control that data. So you might be using platforms like MailChimp, Aweber. These are called email autoresponders. You've probably heard the phrase before. Or Infusionsoft, which is a bit of a bigger daddy. They've got some other products. So Infusionsoft by a company called Keep, and they've got a couple of low-end products called Keep Grow. And these are slightly lighter products. But essentially, the ultimate goal is that they capture your email marketing, and then you can essentially respond back to them. So, someone's come in.
Well.
Sorry?
Automatically.
Yeah, automatically. So
2 years.
Yeah.
Some people I know personally have someone comes into the top of their funnel, they follow up with them for 24 months.
So you've got, it's fantastic. As you can see, so guys, you've got your brand site, any of the follow-up elements attached to that. You've got your lead pages and your capture pages, whatever the infrastructure with that is, the way it flows. You've then got your email follow-up. You can add on, for example, text. Text is a very powerful follow-up. So Casper, Twilio, I think it's the platform you're familiar with.
Yes, Twilio allows you to send like text messages, things like that, follow-up text, two-factor authentication, phone calls, various things.
Yeah, and with many of these tools, they actually integrate into one another. And there's a few key linking tools like Zapier, for example, which allows you to codelessly integrate things. We tend to do things with code because we've got the ability as being full stack within our agency, Menacing Media. So those are a few key elements. I'm trying to think, have I missed any? I mean, those are the basic elements, right, guys? I don't know if there's anything
building blocks you need to really have a strong, to be a leader in the industry and be excellent rather than average.
I think one thing I would add would be, depending on how your sales process is your CRM. So a lot of email autoresponders will act like CRM. So CRM, your customer relationship management, I can't speak properly, customer relationship manager. So they will allow you to then manage and nurture those leads. And depending on what industry you're in, the size of your sales team, if you've got sales teams or it's you know, Infusionsoft is one, there's Salesforce, HubSpot, there's a number of these softwares that you can have within your business. And yeah, I mean, you know, they'll tie in with your marketing funnel, so you can see where your leads are coming through.
Well, that's a machine, isn't it? Because you've got like, if you sort of recap it, you've got the brand site, which is almost like the front of the shop. It's almost like your first impression of what you're all about. And it's not really, it doesn't sell. I mean, there's a couple of little tips you could add on there. You could have a lead capture pop-up when someone clicks, which captures their email. You want to try and capture their email. If you can capture their email, and you know, we're going to have other series where we have a whole half an hour just talking about email, because that's a completely different topic in itself. But you know, we're trying to do our best to give you the building blocks. If you have it, you will win. Most people have a crappy site. It's slow. They don't have text. They don't have emails, and they just don't respect them elements of business. But they're quite simple. And you know, this is an aimless plug as well. Is we can, and aside some people like me, I don't want to do any of it. So I've gone to people before. Now we've got our own agency and we help people with this. I go, okay, I understand it, but can you do it? We do have them options, right, guys? Where we can just do everything for people. It's not cheap. It's actually quite expensive. But if you're serious about building a business, then you know you should see a link in the description, or you can book a call or whatever, and we can help, because I know some people, it can be overwhelming at times. But yeah, I think that's well said, Tom. As well said, Casper, as well.
Thank you.
It's more simplistic than we think, but you got to get in the game of marketing. You got to take it seriously, because most people think, I'll do a shop and then everyone's going to come in. I'll create a website. We talked about this before. I'll create a website and everyone's going to show up. No, they won't. You're going to go, your business is going to fail if you do that. And I've just got to be honest, because I care for people listening to this. If you want to succeed, take what Thomas just said there with the building blocks and implement a few of them.
Yeah, so I mean, guys, there's a lot more. There's quite a few more elements around that, but those are your backbone, your core building blocks that you're going to need to be able to bring customers and start to build your funnel out. So, but yeah, guys, I mean, I hope that's been helpful. That's been useful. We will be doing more content on this, because it's what we're passionate about, and helping you guys out. And yeah, guys, tune in for the next episode, and look forward to catching up with you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Take care.